Hey guys. Hey guys. All right, hey everybody. My name is Jamie Shahan. I'm owner and creator of Teal Lollipops Wreaths. I create handcrafted, elegant, and whimsical wreaths for holiday decor and for seasonal decor. So, I'm so glad you joined me today. I've got a treat for you. So, I've got a customer that ordered a Halloween wreath, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second. But not only did they order one, they ordered two because they have a double door. And I just happen to have the supplies for two. So I'm going to be teaching you how to create this wreath right here. So let me show you. So this is the wreath. This is a dangling witch leg wreath. It's got a little hat. It's got some cats, some whimsical decorative balls. It's just got all kinds of cute things. And that's what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. All right, so let's get started. So let me show you what we need to make this wreath. So I've got some 21-inch purple mesh. I've got some 10-inch seasonal Halloween mesh. And this is an iridescent foil. It's awesome. But these are 10 inches. They're all cut to 16 inches in length. And they're 10 inches wide. And I've gone ahead and pre-cut everything. I'm going to be putting this on a 15-inch elevated work wreath form. This is the work wreath form right here. They call it elevated because it has some height to it. It's not skinny and flat. It's got some height. So this is a 15-inch elevated work wreath form. And by the time you get all of your stuff on it, it's going to be considered a 24-inch wreath because it's actually going to measure probably 24 inches from the end of this to the end of this, measures about 24 inches. All right, so now the ribbons that I've chosen, here's the ribbon. Look how gorgeous that is. I've chosen 4 different types of ribbon and these two. So let me show you these a little closer. These are witches' legs and witches' hats. I think it's adorable. Then some lime green and black polka dots that I'm going to pair with that purple. And look at this, y'all. It's iridescent. You can sort of see the shimmer glitter effect of that. But it also has some fuzzy edges on it. And then this lime green and black and white stripes. So those are the ribbons that I've chosen. So we're going to get started. So I'm going to walk around and pull this camera up and this light up and pan it down toward my table and we'll get started. Y'all hang on. So y'all bear with me while I get this in order. All right, I think that might be about right. Might be a little bit askewed a little bit, but you get the idea. All right, y'all, so I do have a Mevo in my future, but I just don't have it yet. So we're going to start with the work wreath form. 15-inch elevated work wreath form. And then we're going to start with our, let me put these ribbon aside because they're going to end up everywhere if I don't. And we've got our 21-inch purple mesh. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 10-inch poofs all the way around the bottom and the top. Let me get some zip ties here. Move my stuff out of the way. All right, here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of roll that out a little bit. And we're just going to do our first gather. So you're just going to gather all this together. I actually kind of like mine to go with the roll going under. It just seems to help me get it poofier. So pick any place you want to start. You can start on the bottom, you can start on the top, it doesn't matter. And just choose a tie. That also doesn't matter. There are 10 ties on the bottom, and there are 9 ties on the top. And that zip tie is not working, and it's in there correctly. That's weird. All right, let's take another one. I'll try to make this quick, you guys, so we can completely get it done, hopefully in an hour or so. It does take a little bit of time. All right, I'm going to pull that pretty tight. I'll cut that in a minute when we go around. So, now you're just going to gather and you're going to measure about 10 inches. Just choose any place on your mat and measure out to 10 inches and then go to your next tie. After you do this for a while, it doesn't matter. You probably won't even have to measure. I'm getting to the point where I don't have to measure. I can just eyeball it and then fluff it out a little bit. So I'm just going to eyeball it a little bit. We're going to go all the way around the bottom, and then we'll go all the way around the top. So if you guys are joining me, y'all tell me where you're from. A few people are hopping in and out. I see ya. But if you're just joining, tell me where you're from. Where are you watching from? So like I said, my name is Jamie. I'm owner of Teal Lollipops Wreaths. You can find me on Etsy. I'm also starting a YouTube channel where all of these can be found, all of these tutorials. So once I get through doing the Facebook Live here, I'll repurpose it. So if you miss something, you'll be able to go back and get it. And then I'm also starting a blog for beginning wreath makers, and it's called Rookie Wreath Maker. Probably be starting that about the first of the year after we get through these holidays. It'll be a one-stop shop kind of place. It'll be one location where you can go to learn all of the basics that I spent hours and hours trying to scour the internet for. What is a wreath frame? What kind of wreath frames are out there? What kind of mesh is out there? What's the difference between the mesh? You know, what kind of ribbon? How do I choose ribbon? What kind of ribbon is best? What kind of ribbon should I avoid? Should I start an Etsy shop? Should I not start an Etsy shop? You know, how do I start an Etsy shop? I'll probably even get into some of that. Things that I spent hours trying to locate the information for. And it's out there, but it's not in one location. It's in hundreds of locations. You know, some more examples would be, what are the various ways of utilizing mesh? What kind of techniques are out there? The woodland ruffle, the poof method, the curly loop method. There's all kinds of methods out there, which I had no idea all that was out there. But it is. So this is going to be a Halloween wreath. I've got some dangling witch's legs, and then she's in striped black and white stockings. And I've got a black and white harlequin hat that coordinates with her legs. And I've got some, I don't even think I showed you the other stuff. Let me show you. So there's the hat. Here's the dangling legs that I'm going to put on there. I've got this boo sign that'll go in the center. I've got some black cats. I have some glitter balls. And I have some little black bats that'll go on there. Hi, Sandra from Savannah, Georgia. Awesome. I'm honored that you're here. I'm making a Halloween wreath with some dangling witch's legs and all of those little accessories that I just showed you. So now I've gone all the way around the bottom. I'm going to jump up to the top row. I'm going to zip tie it in place. I'm a firm believer of zip ties. So I'm just jumping up to the top ring on this wreath form. I'm gonna secure it in place here. So if y'all have any questions along the way, you guys feel free to ask. Sometimes I get going and I forget to look, but I'll catch up with you. All right, so I'm going to secure this in the closest tie here, and then we're going to move on. And I'll cut these zip ties off once I flip it over. These are 10-inch poofs. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I've done so many, you know. I can just kind of eyeball it. You can do 10-inch, you can do 12-inch, you can do 14-inch. It doesn't really matter. 10-inch poofs are going to conserve the amount of mesh that you use. I like, and I specialize in deco mesh wreaths so far. I do like grapevines, but so far deco mesh seems to be what I am attracted to. And what I've discovered with deco mesh wreaths is that by the time you get everything on them, you don't necessarily see all of the pretty mesh that's underneath because there is so much. Let me exit out here. There's so much decorative stuff and accessories on these wreaths that a lot of times you don't see this pretty mesh. So if you want to utilize your mesh wisely, make them 10 inches or less, but 10 inches is about the smallest that I tend to make them. And I'm just eyeballing, but it's anywhere from 10 to 12 inches. And we're almost done, and then we'll move on to this decorative foil 10-inch mesh that I've got for this. We're almost there. So you don't have to fluff this up as you go along, but if you do, you will see that sometimes you're turning your edges under and you'll be twisting your mesh around. So it's easier, sometimes it's easier to keep it straight if you fluff it as you go. This purple color is beautiful, by the way, and it actually looks pretty good on camera too. It's pretty true to the color. It's a little bit more of a yellow hue in person than it shows on camera, but it's a pretty purple. All right, last one. I'm going to go ahead and untie this and tie it right there. So like I said, I had a customer who purchased this wreath, and she has double doors, and she wanted both. So she turned around and bought both. She sent me a message and said, hey, do you have another one that I could buy too? And absolutely, I do. So the lesson that I learned there was in my SEO for my Etsy shop, I should have put double door wreaths if I had two. That way, she would have known without having to message me that I had two, and she could have just purchased it. But I don't mind communicating with the customers at all. I've even had some communication with customers where I've done some special order stuff from, so I don't mind communicating with them. But anyway, she wouldn't have had to have done that if I had put in my SEO that I had two and that it was double door wreaths. Okay, so there's the base. Now we're going to start on the decorative 10-inch mesh. So I've got two different kinds, and I'm going to do the woodland ruffle on these. So here's my two kinds. We've got this black, orange, purple striped. Actually, it's like a buffalo plaid. And then it's got an iridescent foil stripe down each of these, in between each of these stripes. And then I've got this gorgeous thing here, which is a foil mesh. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So let's get started with that. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Andrea. Someone once told me that you always want to target houses with double doors. Someone once told me that you always want to target houses with double doors. Absolutely. If you have 2 wreaths of the same kind, or 4, or whatever, and your customer can pair it, you absolutely do. All right, so I've said this many times before, I have a little bit of arthritis in my hands. So what we're going to do, and I do this a little bit differently from others, but what we're going to do basically is we're going to start rolling these in, and then we're going to scrunch them up in the center. But sometimes, especially if they're longer than these, I will start rolling them up and clothespin them and turn around and start rolling them up. Now, I like a little bit of a tight roll on the edges, because I want all of those edges that can fray to be on the inside roll so that they don't fray as much. You can't prevent mesh from fraying. It's just going to fray. But if you can make sure it's folded on the inside so that it doesn't come in contact with a lot of handling, then you'll prevent it from fraying some. All right, here we go. So curl it under, roll it, whatever you want to call it. Start on this side and then gather it. So I'm going to do this going around each tie. I'm going to alternate these. I've got 9 of each of these. Where is everybody from? I saw one person from Georgia. And are y'all makers? Or are you buyers? Most everybody here are makers. That's what I assume anyway. So most of my products that I'm using today, maker from Shreveport. Hey, Rachel, good deal. So how long have you been making, Rachel? Do you have many sales? Are you doing good? Shreveport, Louisiana. Arizona. Andrea from Arizona. That's awesome. Are you a maker too, Andrea? Are y'all beginners? Have you been doing this a while? What's your story? Rachel Metcalf. Okay. Yeah. Andrea, I haven't made any wreaths in a while since I moved from California back to Arizona. Rachel from Facebook, lots of sales. I just had my first on Etsy. Man, congrats, girl. That's awesome. So when I first started out, I didn't do this on my own. And just sell to friends and stuff like that. I started trying to make pretty things for my house for my grandbabies. I'm a fairly new grandmother. It's been 6 years now, but when I started, I wanted to make some pretty things for my grandbabies when they came over for Christmas. So I just started for me and my grandbabies, and then I realized, you know, I'm gonna make a living out of this. So I thought. Well, I'm going to start an Etsy shop. I'll make some pretty things, and at least I'll pay for my supplies so I can make more pretty things. That's really, honest to God, what was in my head. And a couple of months went by, and it was crickets. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I thought, okay, I need some help. So I joined a business group and learned about Etsy and the search engine optimization and keywords, and then it still took, y'all, it still took 7 months for me to get a sale. But when that sale came in, let me tell you, I was jumping for joy. So mine is still, you know, I'm in the process of building it. It's going to be big someday. I'm just going to speak that over it right now. I have faith that it will. And by the time I retire my job, this job will be already in place for me to just walk right into. That's my goal. You got to have goals, right? Sandra, you're a maker, but I like to buy. Very pretty. Love the colors. Thank you. The colors are actually really, really nice. The purple is awesome. So I don't know if I finished telling you guys what I was going to tell you, but all of these products today came from Craft Outlet. So when I first got into the business, I bought most of my stuff from Hobby Lobby because I'm a Hobby Lobby fiend. Love Hobby Lobby. But didn't really even understand that every 2 weeks Hobby Lobby put their stuff on sale, you know, and you need to alternate ribbon sales with flower sales. I mean, I didn't know any of that, but I loved Hobby Lobby. So when I first started out, that's where I bought everything. And I didn't even get everything buy it on sale because I didn't realize how often they put things on sale. And I didn't realize wait till it goes 40% off. There'll still be plenty. So, when I first started out, I was paying too much money, essentially. So I found through a business coach that there are plenty of places online that you can get your stuff for significantly less amount of money, and you will be able to either make a better profit or get your prices low enough in your Etsy shop that people aren't sticker shocked when they go to your shop and see your prices. So most of this stuff came from Craft Outlet. Love Craft Outlet. Like this 21-inch purple mesh was $3.95, and it's good quality mesh. This 21-inch mesh at Hobby Lobby is $10, and it's not near as good quality as this stuff is. Not near. Now, I will say that Hobby Lobby's seasonal mesh seems to be a lot better. Andrea says she bought from Trendy Tree and Craft Outlet. Yes. Now, I don't think I've purchased much from Trendy Tree yet. I have looked at Trendy Tree, and I've seen some really awesome signs. But by the time I drop a load of money at Craft Outlet, Lord have mercy, it takes me a good month before I can buy again because I don't have any money left. Andrea has 2 grandkids. Aw, 1 and 3 years old. That's precious. That's about the time I really started getting busy with creating what I always say is creating a Christmas wonderland or Thanksgiving wonderland or whatever. That's about how old they are when I got hooked. And I mean, the bug bit me hard. Hard. I haven't stopped since. I've learned quite a bit. So I've been doing this just under a year and learned a lot. If you are not in a business group, I would highly suggest you get in a business group unless you are just, you know, so good. I was totally green. I did not know a thing. I did not realize you can make the prettiest things in the world, but if you don't know how to market yourself, you will go nowhere more than likely, unless you're selling and you become popular with your friends. You can make the ugliest stuff in the world, and I don't mean, I'm trying not to be really bad by saying that, but some things out there are not that pretty, and you can make some things that aren't that pretty, but as long as you know how to market yourself, you can make a living at it. I also didn't realize that there are women and men out there who are making 6 figures a year making wreaths. Now, they're making lots and lots. Don't get me wrong, it's not like me making one at a time here. They're making many at a time. But I had no idea. Rachel, you're with Julie in both the wreath and the business. Awesome. So you're in her success circle and her Wreath Makers of the Month club, right? Correct? Because that's where I am. But I also joined her mastermind. Lord have mercy. I joined that before I ever even joined the Wreath Maker of the Month club. I knew I needed help. And so that's what I did. I joined it all. I'm hoping to start my own group before too long. I have to get a little bit of experience under my belt. Some more knowledge. Knowledge is key. So I'll get there. About this time next year, I'll be starting my own groups. And I've got big plans. The one thing that you'll learn by joining a business group is you will learn what's out there. And you will understand that this is just not a craft business. You tell people about your business. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I have a craft business. And I make wreaths and decorative pieces for people's homes, and they probably look at you like, okay, whatever, that's not legit. But what they don't know is the potential out there is huge, especially with COVID, you guys. COVID has shifted people's shopping to nothing but, well, I won't say nothing, but it's shifted shopping to online. I'm sure Amazon is making a killing. Etsy is doing great. Amazon, COVID is not hurting online stuff at all. You would think that people would be worried and not really purchasing much, but that's not the way it's turned out. Okay, so there's the base. Rachel, one day maybe mastermind. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would highly recommend the mastermind. I don't think it hurts to stay where you're at for right now. She's got so much information in Success Circle. You go through all of those modules, and then you'll realize if you need help or not. Hey, Karma. Yes, this is actually a Halloween wreath. Karma Smoke just showed up here, you guys. She and I went to high school together, and we grew up down the street from each other. So I am making a Halloween wreath. In case you didn't see it, I'm making a Halloween wreath with these witch legs, a hat that coordinates, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so let's get started with the ribbon. I've thrown them down here on the floor, so now they're all kind of thrown together. Oy, oy, oy. I have messed them up for sure. All right, so I've got 4 different ribbon. I've got 2.5 inch ribbon and 1.5 inch ribbon. So I'm pairing these two together, and then I'm pairing these two together. Okay? Let me see if I can get some order here. I messed this all up. All right, so what we're going to do is put your 1.5 inch on top of your 2.5 inch. Just eyeball it, find the center point, and then scrunch it together somewhere around the center, and then you're going to turn it in a V, and then I kind of fluff it out to where it looks like it has bird wings. But it's a V and bird wings, and then you go to your ties and just start placing these on your ties. And we will come back later and fluff all that up. Nice meeting you, Andrea. She's going to go see her grandson. He's FaceTiming her. You know, when grandbabies call, grandmamas listen. That's just all there is to it. You want that chocolate bar before dinner? Absolutely, baby. You can have it. Don't tell mama, though. Okay. So now, just find the center. Put it in a V. Twist it in a V. Fluff out those little bird wings. And then apply them to your ties. So we'll go all the way around. Andrea, come and join me again sometime. I'd love to see your name scroll across that screen. I'll look for you in Julie's Success Circle too. You guys, if you don't mind sharing this, that would be much, much helpful to the business that I'm starting and trying to create. And let me put some things here on this feed so you'll know where to find me. So here is my Etsy shop. And let me show you guys my Pinterest page. Maybe. All right, There's my Pinterest page. You guys go over there and see what you think. Give me some feedback. All right, let's get back at this. So these ribbons are cut to 12 inches in length, and I've dovetailed the ends, and I've got 9 of each. So I've got 9 purple 2.5 inch wide ribbon, 9 of the polka dot, 9 of the black stripe, and 9 of the multicolored stripe. So 4 different ribbons, all cut at 12 inches each, and all dovetailed. You don't have to dovetail your ribbons. They just have a more polished look when you do that. Some ribbon, though, you have to be careful. It is not very conducive to cutting it up too much. And you cut little dovetails and you make those ends thin and fragile, and then they kind of fall apart. But you'll know it when you see it. This ribbon is linen, and it's sturdy as can be. So you're not going to hurt that at all. This ribbon is also linen, and it's real sturdy. So if you can find linen ribbon, then that's the perfect kind of ribbon as far as I'm concerned. It's what I've discovered this past year. A few more, and then we're going to start on the top row. So I didn't see, does everybody out there have an Etsy shop? Y'all selling on Etsy? You selling in person? What are y'all doing? I think I saw that somewhere up there. Rachel, she has she has an Etsy shop. Y'all doing well with your Etsy shops? You got your SEO, right? Do you know what SEO is? That's a work in progress for me. The more you do it, the more you figure it out and the quicker it becomes for you. But it's definitely a work in progress for me. So I will get this in the mail today, hopefully, to my customer. But I had to jump on here and just show y'all how I did it, because it's a cute, cute wreath. I love all the little legs, the scarecrow legs, the witch's legs, anything that hangs down, that type of an accessory, I love for a wreath. It definitely adds value to your wreath, adds retail value too, but it definitely adds value. So I'm not measuring these, I'm just kind of eyeballing where the center is and scrunching it together. We're almost finished, and I'll be able to show you where we're going to put the accessories. And oh yeah, we got to make a bow. I'll show y'all how I make a bow and my little tricks that I have, which isn't many, but it's definitely, I've got a few really good tricks. We've got 3 more, and then we'll get to the bow. So I am trying to do an exact replica of the other one that I made, but I'm going to do it on opposite sides. So the witch legs will be in the center, but I'm going to do the bow on the opposite side. I've lost one of my ribbon. Here it is. I'm going to do the bow on the opposite side of the other one, and the hat, and it'll be a mirror image, only it'll be identical, but a mirror image. I'm working on a Christmas garland now. Never done one before. Rachel, I've never done one either. I am planning on doing that in my shop for sure. Good for you, girl. You will have customers out there who want the wreath, the garland, the lantern swag. You can put lantern swags on porch lights. I mean, there are customers out there who will want the whole kit and caboodle. So why not offer it all in your shop? If that's what they want and you don't have it, they're going to go somewhere else to find it. They will find it. And the more you can diversify and add stuff to your shop, the better. The more you offer in your shop, the better. All right, so there's that. That is so cute. So these little legs came with a loop here. It's just a little ribbon loop. And I put a chenille stem through it, and then I tied a knot in it, and then I twisted this off. Because it's actually going to go down back in here pretty far. But that's how I will affix it. So that'll be down there, something like that. And then the boo will go somewhere in the center, and then the hat will go somewhere like right here. So, okay, so let's get to the bow. Let's just move this aside. So I'm using this same 4 ribbon that I used on the wreath. Now I use a bow dabra. This is a bow dabra if anybody has never seen one. That's what I use. So I am going to make this bow just like the last one. And let's see. So it looks like the last one has about 12-inch tails. So we'll keep it the same. And we'll do 12-inch tails. So I may have to stand up for this. I'll probably do a little bit more. I'll probably do a 16-inch tail. We'll start with that. I can always cut that down. I can't add to it, but I can always cut that down. So this is a bow dabra. You've got a little center place here where your ribbon goes, and then you've got a gap here where your wire will go through. Now some people will go ahead and do it. Some people put their wire through there like this, and they'll fold it under. But I don't do that. I use a zip tie, so I don't do it like that. All right, so here we go. Okay, so this is single-sided ribbon, meaning you've got one good side, one not so good side. It's still pretty, but you don't want to see that. So you always want your good side to be out. So we're going to be doing the twisting thing. So we're going to twist this to where the bad side or the underside is up. And then we're going to come over. And when you flip back over, you've got your good side up. So these are going to be 5-inch loops. I've got my bow dabra on my measuring board, and the center part is at 10. So I'm going to hold my hand over here at the 5 and just pull that loop kind of tight, and that'll measure 5 inches. Now, it's okay if these loops are a little bit off, because my little trick at the end will even out those loops. So I'm still at the center of my bow dabra, still at the 10. So I'm going to go to the 5. Kind of pull it tight. I just put my hand in there just to kind of use it as a guide for measuring, and I pull it tight. Now I'm just going to use the loop that's already there as my measurement this time, and try to get them as pretty even. Twist. Okay. Now let's give it about a 14-inch tail, just like the other side. You can measure like this, however you want to do it. Okay, so there's one of the 2.5-inch ribbon. So now we're going to do the purple one next. So I did the green one first because it's the ribbon. I I want this ribbon to show more than I want the green, so I'm going to put the green on the bottom and this one above it. 14-inch tails, twist. This is also single-sided ribbon. Okay, so here is a little bit of controversy. Some people do not like the witch's legs to be upside down. And let me see what I did on this other wreath. Okay, so I left them upside down on the other wreath, so I'm going to leave them upside down on this one too. I don't really care. Some people are really picky about that, and they do. I don't. Now, if there are words, sometimes that will drive me nuts, and I want the words to be, for you to be able to read them. So sometimes I will go through the trouble of fixing that. And you do that by actually hand tying the bow. Uh-oh, I'm out of... Okay, so I'm at the end of this on this, which is no big deal. I actually have enough to finish off this loop. Let me take this tape off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this extra right here. But I'm going to go ahead and dovetail it and cut off some of that. So now I just happen to have another piece of ribbon here. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it in here. I'm going to pull this ribbon off, this bow off, and put this underneath it. So let me cut off this excess here. Okay, so I'm going to actually pull this up. And I'm going to put this tail underneath it. I can put the tail on top, but I choose to put the tail underneath it. So I'm going to put that right there. You got to have enough here to work with. So you need about 1 inch or 2 over here. And then I'm going to put this back down. Okay, that solves that problem. No big deal. So this is my most favorite ribbon of all. I want this to be on the outside, so I'm going to do that one very last. So next we're going to come in with the polka dot. This is single-sided ribbon. It's very close to being double-sided, but it is single-sided. So it'll get the twist. I'm going to make these just a little bit shorter than the ones below them. Not much, but just a little. Should have gotten some off that spool before I started. This ribbon is really thin, this particular one, and it's not easy to work with. So I don't really care for it too much. So you can pull your ribbon loops up like this to see if they're fairly even. If you can't see the scale underneath, your measuring board underneath, or you're not very good with, eyeballing it. Just pull those loops up and measure them and just get them as even as you can. Again, no big deal. I'm going to show you how to fix that. This ribbon is really giving me fits. It's so thin that it doesn't hold its shape, and it's wanting to bend on me, which I don't like. So I won't be buying it again, but it sure is cute. All right, so there's that. Now, last but not least is this beautiful thing. Single-sided, so I have to twist it. I want 4 of these. These are going to be a little bit shorter than the ones before it. And I'm going to do 4. So if I pick this up, it comes up just to the top of this Bodabra, so that's just an easy way to eyeball and measure. So what I do then is I take and I just pull this side up about to and hold it about where it meets the same on the other side, and then I pull it back down, and that I hold my finger right there, and that's sort of a rough measurement. And I'll just measure this against the one below it, and same here. Okay, now I'll just show you my trick. I'm sure I'm not the first one to come up with this trick, but I came up with it on my own, so I claim it. Okay, so you take your zip tie. First, we're going to secure this. So I'm going to pull this ribbon up a little bit so I can slide my zip tie underneath all of the ribbon through the other side. And then I'm going to start pulling it up. And this is a zip tie that's got a little bitty head. Let me get a bigger one. They're easier to work with. If I have one. I don't have one. Crap. Okay, so sometimes these zip ties that have these teeny little heads compared to this green one, as you can see, they're harder to work with. And I don't have a big black one, so I'm going to have to use this little one. So bear with me while I get this zip tied in place. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll set that thicker head on top of this gap and I'll pull the other side and it pulls up that bow, but at the same time it starts cinching it together. Okay, so now I just take it out. I'm going to hold these loops and I'm going to just pull these tails down. Now remember, I've got a loose tail here, so I've got to be careful not to pull it too much. Now I'm going to hold these loops and I'm going to pull these tails down out of my way. So now my trick is, put your fingers inside your loops and pull. Now did you see that pull a little bit to even itself out? If they are grossly uneven, they will pull and even out. Okay, so this is not tightened down all the way. And now I'm going to zip this around to the back, flip it around to the back, and I'm going to start tightening it down. But before I tighten it down, I'm going to put my tie underneath this zip tie. I just squish it down, slip that zip tie under there, and now I'm going to tighten that zip tie down as tight as I can get it. Okay, so now these are pretty secure. I've gotten them pretty tight, so you can tug on these loops pretty hard. You can give them a good hard tug and they're not going to really go anywhere. Now the purple ones, since I've got two pieces there that are short, I'm going to be a little bit careful with these. But you can just, I take and put my hands inside the loops and I pull opposite directions and I just twist a little bit. And that's how I start, just by getting them all. That's how I started, getting the fluff process going. Now I just pulled on that accidentally. You see the way that pulled through? So let me pull these again. I accidentally pulled that a little bit and didn't mean to. Which tells me I need to tighten that zip tie some more, but it's already cut off, so I'll just be careful with it. All right, so there's our bow. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and attach this to the wreath. I think I'll just attach it right here. Now I'm going to do it on the opposite side. Well, that's right. So I'm going to attach it over here. So this is a double door wreath, so I'm going to do these as mirror images of themselves with all the same stuff, but just mirror images. Oh, there we go. Ay. Get on them in there. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm from the South, and occasionally you'll hear me say stuff like, ay, get on down in there. So, sorry if that if that offends anybody, but it is who I am. Marta, girl, hey. I see you joining. Good to see you. I'm making a Halloween wreath. with some witch's legs. And I've just made the bow. Here we go. So there's that. So now the witch's legs, this, let's see, the sign. Let me hang this up over here so I can take a look at it. There we go. All right, so the bow is going to be over here. And then the witch's legs are going to be down in here. So let me reach down in here. I'm going to bend them a little bit so that I can get them back here to the back and attach them. Okay, so there's that. So we're also going to have a hat that's going to sit somewhere about like this. So let's go ahead and attach it. It's sticking to everything. I'm going to go ahead and twist this down. And then we've got this boo sign. And that's going to go in there. So I'm just going to zip tie this real quick, and I will come back and make sure that it's attached really well. Okay, so there it is so far. Now this ribbon, this bow will have to come out this way a little bit, so I'll have to redo that because it's falling a little too much into the center of the wreath. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will come back in here and I will start adding all of these accessories, like these little these little black cats. Now I'm not going to hot glue them in because I'm really picky, and I'll have to make sure they're where I want them, and I can't do that very well at the spur of the moment on this live. Uh-oh, I'll have to hot glue that one back in. So wherever that one's attached, if I can find it, everything's black, so I don't see it. So I will, oh, it's up here. There we go. I'll hot glue that back in place. There we go. I've got some little bats that I'll be putting in there. Now, when I first started, I didn't do a lot with accessories, but I'm discovering people like the accessories. They love all the little things that you add to it. Anything you can add to it to make it more valuable to your customer, they like it. And then I've got a bunch of these little baubles. These are styrofoam decorative glitter balls, specifically for Halloween. So I will put several of those in here. And I'm just going to kind of put them here for now so that you get the gist of it. So this was a special order. It's already been sold. I've sold 2 of them. And so both of these will get shipped out today, hopefully. Hopefully I get them out today. And it's something like this. All right. So it'll end up being something like that. What do y'all think? That's it. So let's see. Ronnie's asking, do I use wood or metal signs? I use all of it. I use wood. These are actually like a styrofoam cardboard type of a sign. This is a foam sign, and this of course is cloth with a metal wire in it, a really thick metal wire so that you can form it. But I also do use wood signs, metal signs. I use it all. Wherever I can find something that I like, that I think is cute and that is durable. I'll show you a wood sign that I have. This was a tutorial that I did just the other day. And it's got a wooden sign. And that'll be listed in my Etsy shop before too long. But yeah, it's adorable. It's got the 3 planks and then the Christmas trees. Yeah, so that one, that's a wood sign. I do like the metal signs. I buy a lot of my metal signs from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy. And she's just got some really cool designs. It's not necessarily a plug for her. It's just what I do. She's who I've gravitated toward. And yeah, so I use all signs. I use anything I think's cute, I'm going to get it and put it on a wreath. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. That's pretty much it. I'm going to come back through here and hot glue all of this stuff on and get it sent out to my customer today. I appreciate you guys so much. If you like what you saw, give me a heart and a thumbs up. And if you could share this, that would be awesome. That's just going to help the business grow. If you want to purchase a wreath, then you can go to my Etsy shop, Teal Lollipops Wreaths on Etsy. And yeah, better late than never, Casey. Absolutely. You can always catch the replay, right? I'm starting a blog. It's called Rookie Wreath Maker. I'll be starting that at the beginning of next year. And I will be uploading this video tutorial to my YouTube channel, which is called Teal Lollipops. And then, of course, this will be on my Facebook page, so you guys can always catch it and rewatch it if you want to. I hope you've learned something. One thing I forgot to do is I do finish off all of my wreaths with a placemat. Just a dinner placemat that you can buy anywhere. Get the cheapest ones you can. And the back of this one is black. I'll show you the wreath that's already made. So you can see on the back of this one, I've taken a placemat and I've put zip ties in it and just zip tied it so that you don't see the inner workings of the wreath. You don't see all of the stems where they're hot glued and where the wire is, you know, twisted, holding the bow, stuff like that. Just a simple little placemat. Hobby Lobby, at home, everywhere. Everybody has them. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you later. Bye.